You're about to witness one of the smartest, boldest, most under-the-radar moves in crypto right now. And no, it's not coming from Bitcoin. It's not Ethereum. It's not Solana. It's Stellar. And what Stellar just did isn't just big. It's the kind of strategic partnership that could quietly set off a chain reaction in global finance, one that disrupts how a $133 trillion market operates. Let me say that again, $133 trillion. And somehow, almost no one is talking about it. But that's how real power moves happen, silently, strategically, and with long-term vision. While everyone else is chasing meme pumps and influencer hype, Stellar just locked in an AI alliance that puts it on a whole new level, and I'm going to show you exactly why. Because when you hear AI meets blockchain, your brain probably goes to buzzwords, narratives, or whatever's trending. But what this is real AI solving a real trillion-dollar problem in legacy finance. And Stellar is now the infrastructure that powers the solution. And if that doesn't get your attention, it should. Because when real-world utility meets unstoppable tech, that's when charts don't just move, they explode. So here's the real question you need to ask yourself. Right now, what if this Ficc.ai partnership is the hidden catalyst that finally sends XLM flying? While the rest of the market is still asleep. This isn't a hype pump. This isn't a price prediction disguised as content. This is a chess move, not checkers. And if you're holding XLM or even thinking about entering this market, this video is the difference between being early and being late. So stop scrolling. Don't click off. Because by the time this video ends, you'll understand exactly what this partnership is, why it changes the game for fixed income finance, and how Stellar is now positioning itself light years ahead of the crypto pack in 2025. But before we dive in, one thing, if you're serious about crypto, and I mean really serious, hit that subscribe button right now. Because Be Crypto Smart isn't just another crypto channel. We mix hard research, deep psychology, and strategic market breakdowns to help you actually win in this space short-term and long-term. No fluff, no hype, just alpha. So let's break down the partnership that could go down as one of the most genius moves in Stellar's history. And maybe the moment everything starts to change for XLM. Let's cut through the noise. Right now, most crypto investors are still chasing dopamine. They're hypnotized by green candles, distracted by pump tweets, obsessed with the next meme coin that's trending on X for 12 minutes. But real wealth, generational wealth, never comes from hype. It comes from seeing the quiet, strategic plays before the headlines hit. And that's exactly what Stellar just made. In March 2025, the Stellar Development Foundation didn't announce some vague roadmap update or launch a flashy marketing stunt. They went straight into execution mode and partnered with one of the most quietly powerful AI companies you've never heard of, Ficc.ai. Now I get it. You're probably thinking, who even is Ficc.ai? Exactly. Because this isn't some big-name VC-pumped AI coin trying to moon. Ficc.ai is a focused, high-impact artificial intelligence firm that's zeroed in on one thing, revolutionizing how fixed income markets are priced, traded, and brought on-chain. And if that sounds abstract, it won't in a second. Because what they're doing is taking some of the most opaque, outdated financial instruments in the world, like municipal bonds, mortgage-backed securities, other government debt instruments, and using AI plus Stellar's blockchain infrastructure to bring clarity, transparency, and instant settlement to a system that's been stuck in the 90s. This isn't just a nice use case. This is potentially the core unlock for bringing real-world assets, RWAs, onto the blockchain at scale. And let's be real, everyone in the space has been talking about RWAs for over a year now. Tokenize real estate. Put treasuries on-chain. RWA is the future. But talk is cheap. Stellar just executed. And Ficc.ai didn't choose Ethereum. They didn't choose Solana. They chose Stellar for speed, efficiency, and the kind of regulatory positioning that institutional players are actually comfortable building on. That's not just bullish. That's historic. Because this is where the real war is being fought. Not over NFT floor prices. Not over which layer 1 can do a million TPS in a lab. The real war is about who gets to power the next generation of global finance. And Stellar is now in the room with the entities that actually run that system, quietly building the infrastructure underneath the entire thing. That's why this video matters right now. Not next month. Not next cycle. Now. Because by the time the rest of the market catches up, the gains are gone. The opportunity is priced in. The alpha is over. So if you're watching this, you're already ahead of 99% of people still chasing hype. Stay locked in, bro. The next part is where it gets even bigger. What is Ficc.ai? Why does it matter? Alright, let's break it down. What exactly is Ficc.ai? And why does this matter more than most people even realize? Ficc.ai is not some random AI startup chasing buzz. They're not launching an AI token. They're not slapping ChatGPT on a website and calling it innovation. They're building serious infrastructure with advanced machine learning models and natural language processing tools that can do one thing better than anyone else: accurately price fixed income products. Now if your eyes glazed over at fixed income, snap out of it. Because we're talking about municipal bonds, agency-backed mortgage securities, government debt instruments, in short, the boring stuff that actually runs the world. You know why this sounds boring? Because the legacy system wants it to. Because if the average investor actually understood how this $133 trillion market worked, or more importantly, how broken it is, the entire power dynamic would flip. Right now, this entire asset class is opaquely priced, controlled by centralized data vendors, manually evaluated by outdated models, and manipulated behind closed doors. And that's exactly the problem Ficc.ai is solving. They're using AI to break through that chaos, aggregating unstructured data, running predictive analytics, and producing real-time, transparent, AI-verified bond pricing. And now, here's where it gets explosive. They're not just doing that in some private dashboard or Excel sheet. They're bringing it on-chain using Stellar. Why does that matter? Because once this pricing data lives on a blockchain like Stellar, everything changes. No more gatekeeping. No more 24-hour settlement windows. No more relying on 3 dudes at a rating agency to tell you what your bond is worth. This means, for the first time in financial history, the true price of a bond, whether it's a city-issued muni or a pool of mortgages, can be publicly verified, instantly distributed, and immutable, all of it powered by Ficc.ai's AI models, and anchored to Stellar's blockchain infrastructure. Think about the ripple effect here, bro. Price discovery becomes public. Settlement becomes real-time. Access becomes global. That's not just bullish. That's legacy finance disruption in its purest form. Because Wall Street doesn't fear new coins or DeFi apps. They fear losing control over the data they've monopolized for decades. And this is how that control starts slipping. Through AI. Through Stellar. Through a partnership that doesn't just ride trends. It rebuilds the system from the inside out. So don't sleep on Ficc.ai. Don't write off bond markets because they aren't sexy. Because guess what? The next big crypto move isn't going to be loud. It's going to be infrastructure. And it's going to be invisible until it's everywhere. And Stellar? They're already building the pipes. The fixed income market is broken. Let's break this down, bro. The traditional fixed income market, especially municipal bonds, is an absolute mess. And I'm not talking about a few flaws here and there. This sector is one of the most outdated, inefficient, and gate-kept parts of global finance. You've got pricing models that are based on last month's data, centralized evaluations that offer zero transparency, institutions relying on middlemen just to understand the true value of their assets. Think about that for a second. This is how we're running trillions of dollars in value. It's like trying to run the entire internet on a fax machine. It's slow, it's manual, and it's built to protect the old gatekeepers. But here's the thing, Stellar and Ficc.ai aren't playing by those rules. They're here to fix all that. Now, with Stellar and Ficc.ai, this disjointed system becomes something far more powerful. Instant data, reliable on-chain pricing, completely decentralized, all while staying fully regulator-friendly and institution-grade. You see, bro, this is where blockchain really starts to shine. It's not about the meme coin gains. It's about real-world, institutional-grade infrastructure. This isn't just some tech upgrade. This is about transforming how the world's largest financial assets are priced and traded. And the real beauty of this is the perfect combo of AI precision from Ficc.ai's machine learning models, blockchain transparency that guarantees a public, immutable ledger, and institutional demand for a solution that actually works. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that sounds nice, but who actually wants this? Well, the demand is already here. Look at what's happening in the market right now. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, is already tokenizing treasuries. Franklin Templeton, another huge player, is experimenting with blockchain for fixed income. This is happening at the highest levels. The institutions are already testing the waters. And now, Stellar is stepping into this arena not just as a payment network, but as the infrastructure backbone for real-world finance. That's a whole different game. Stellar is no longer just a crypto payment solution. It's a foundation for a new way of doing business, where speed, accuracy, and transparency are no longer optional. This is where the real disruption happens, bro. This is how you get ahead of the pack. And remember, when the market catches on, it's already too late. Stellar's smarter play with AI and RWA. Let's zoom out for a second. Because what Stellar has just done here, it's way bigger than just another partnership. It's a signal to the entire crypto and traditional finance world that AI plus blockchain isn't just some catchy narrative. It's a real-world solution that's about to change the way we think about data and pricing in finance forever. Ficc.ai is coming in hot, solving the pricing inefficiency that has held the bond and fixed income markets hostage for decades. And Stellar? They're solving the data transparency and distribution problems that have plagued traditional finance since its inception. But here's where it gets next level. Together, Stellar and Ficc.ai are creating the first truly scalable pricing oracle for fixed income products. Let that sink in. Think about what this means. Gone are the days of waiting days for pricing updates that are outdated the second they land. Relying on secretive, centralized data providers who control all the information and charge you a premium for access. Manipulation behind closed doors, where the real price of an asset is kept from the public until it's too late. This is the moment when pricing becomes public, real-time, and immutable, powered by the Stellar network. Now, real-time, transparent, AI-powered pricing is available to anyone, democratizing access to information that was once the domain of only the richest institutions. That's not just bullish for Stellar. That's foundational. This isn't just about adding another feature to the Stellar network. This partnership isn't some band-aid or quick fix. It's about anchoring institutional trust in Stellar, and that's massive. When institutional players, the biggest financial players in the world, see this partnership, they see one thing: Stellar isn't chasing trends. Stellar is building infrastructure for trillion-dollar problems. This isn't speculative. This isn't based on hope or potential. This is real. Stellar is moving into position to solve some of the biggest problems in traditional finance. And they've just proven they're not just playing catch-up. They're leading the way. And that, bro, is how you make a play that isn't just good for crypto. It's good for the entire financial ecosystem. Because when Stellar leads the charge, the world follows. Part 5, 12 to 1630, Stellar's 2025 momentum. The full picture. Let's zoom out. This isn't happening in isolation. Stellar has been making surgical moves in 2025, and this Ficc.ai deal is just one piece of the bigger puzzle. Digital Wealth Partners just announced custody support for XLM in collaboration with Anchorage Digital. That means institutional investors now have a trusted, compliant path to holding and storing XLM. Coinbase Derivatives launched XLM futures. Let that sink in. Stellar now has regulated futures contracts trading on a major U.S. exchange. That's not retail hype. That's Wall Street legitimacy. Paris Blockchain Week 2025. Stellar Development Foundation is scheduled to present alongside major names like Ripple, Circle, and MasterCard. Why? Because Stellar is pushing to lead the global conversation on real-world assets. And now, with Ficc.ai in the mix, is a perfect storm for XLM. Psychology of the market. Why most won't see this coming? Let me drop some truth on you, bro. Here's what 99% of the market will miss, and it's probably happening right now as you're watching this. The majority of investors are obsessed with coin rankings and headline news. They're focused on the next big pumped altcoin, or what some influencer just tweeted about Bitcoin's price action. They'll see XLM moving up the ranks after it's already pumped. And by then, it'll be too late. They won't notice it until the price spikes, but by then, they'll have missed the real play. The real opportunity? It's in moments like this, quiet moments, when no one's paying attention, when the world is still focused on the noise, and you're seeing the signal. This Ficc.ai partnership? It isn't just another headline you scroll past. This is a signal that Stellar is locking in long-term utility, real-world relevance, and enterprise-grade trust, all at once. Most won't get it, bro. They'll gloss over it because it doesn't fit their narrative of quick gains. But the truth? This is foundational. This is the kind of move that takes years to fully unfold. And by the time the market catches on, the smart money's already in. If you've been waiting for a reason to reevaluate Stellar's position in the crypto hierarchy, this is it. This is the moment you stop looking at XLM as just another altcoin and start recognizing it for what it really is, a real-world financial tool that's about to redefine how assets are priced, traded, and monetized. Because this isn't about hope. This isn't about hoping Stellar someday figures it out. This is about evidence. Concrete, undeniable, and actionable evidence. And right now, the evidence is stacking up in XLM's favor more than ever before. You want a crypto investment with real utility, institutional trust, and long-term potential? You're looking at it. The market is still caught in the noise, but you're here, and you've got a front-row seat to something massive. Don't let that slip by. What investors need to know right now. Let me get straight to the point, bro. If you're holding XLM, stay locked in. This is the time to double down, not back off. If you're not holding yet, this is your moment to get serious. Start researching aggressively and position yourself wisely, because the next few moves could define the next decade. This isn't financial advice, this is crypto intelligence. And let me break down exactly what we know right now. Real-world asset tokenization is a multi-trillion-dollar wave that's already crashing onto the shores of the traditional financial system. You're seeing huge players like BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, and more start to dive into tokenizing real-world assets. The floodgates are opening. And guess who's positioning itself perfectly to be the backbone of that transition? Stellar. Fixed income products are next on the chopping block. This isn't some distant future. It's happening right now. Bonds, treasury bills, mortgage-backed securities, these are all ripe for disruption. They're worth trillions in global markets, and they've been shackled by inefficiency, opacity, and middlemen for far too long. Stellar, through its partnership with Ficc.ai, is stepping into that exact market, ready to reshape how these assets are priced, traded, and settled. And that's massive. Stellar isn't just talking about innovation. They're embedded directly in this narrative. They've partnered with an AI powerhouse that's solving real, tangible problems in the fixed income market, something no one else is doing at this scale. This isn't speculation, bro, this is action. Real progress. Real-world impact. So what does this mean for you? This isn't the top. This is the setup. And here's the kicker, the market hasn't priced this in yet. Think about that for a second. The market is still catching up to what Stellar is building. You're seeing institutional money flow into tokenized assets. You're seeing AI and blockchain converge at the highest levels. But most of the market still doesn't get it. They're still chasing the short-term noise, while the real long-term game is quietly unfolding beneath the surface. If you're serious about capitalizing on this shift, this is your window. Don't wait for the crowd to wake up. Get ahead of the pack and position yourself in the right place, right now. The future of finance isn't coming. It's already here, and Stellar is leading the charge. You've just seen what most won't see for months. A partnership that bridges legacy finance with blockchain. A network positioning itself at the core of tokenized real-world value. And a strategy that could push XLM into its most important breakout yet. But we're not done. Because in our next video, we'll break down exactly how Stellar plans to capitalize at Paris Blockchain Week 2025, and why the conversations happening behind closed doors might be even bigger than this partnership. So here's what to do. Subscribe right now if you haven't already. Drop a comment below. Do you believe this Ficc.ai move is the smartest thing Stellar's done so far? And share this video with one person who seriously underestimates XLM. Because this isn't hype, bro. This is Be Crypto Smart. And we don't just react to the crypto market. We read it, decode it, and position ahead of it. Stay smart, stay ready, and I'll catch you in the next one.